of awful things. What was he like when you used to know him?
Well, he was always sweet to me. I understand that the public view him in a different light, but that's not who I know. He was very sweet and very affectionate to me and my children, so I don't know of him being ever aggressive or anything to me. So
this must have been an absolute shock to you to hear that something like this happened with him. How do you make sense of it?
I can't make sense of it. I'm still in a state of shock, actually. If there was no warning signs whatsoever. None.
How long did you guys date?
We had dated approximately 4 months.
And how was he?
4 months of.
There he is. And how was he around your kids?
Very hands-on with them. He always called my daughter Princess. My son, he always called him a king. So he was very loving and supportive towards them. Never ever raised his voice, not one time in front of them. Nothing, like I said, no warning signs whatsoever.
Gloria, how do we make sense of this?
Well, the only thing that may make sense is if, in fact, the toxicology report that is not yet out comes back and says that somehow there was some kind of drug in his system that caused him to do what he did, which is eat 75% of the face of a homeless man.
It's the only thing that makes sense, right? Well,
yes.
Because it's or a brain tumor or something when they do the autopsy.
Well, something because, I mean, Ivanka was with him frequently. For the 4 months they were together. She says that every day they were together watching the ministries on television, talking about the Bible, doing private Bible studies with each other, that she had no warning at all. In fact, if she had any such warning, she would never have allowed him to be around her kids.
Of course. Let's go to call Sydney in Florida. Sydney.
Yes, Dr. Drew?
Sydney, go right ahead.
Hi. I was wondering, well, I wanted to comment and say that bath salts have been being sold for about 2.5 to 3 years now. I was wondering if prolonged use is the problem, and I know it's just alleged.
Yeah, Sydney, let me answer your question. So we don't know. We don't know whether, I suspect it is, frankly, but we don't know whether it's that or the fact that they changed the molecule slightly to stay ahead of regulators. Remember, I mean, the reason people use these substances is so they don't get detected on urine toxicologies. It's people who want to use drugs at work and don't want to get detected. That's the primary motivation for this. And as such, the people that manufacture these things are staying just ahead of the people that build the mechanisms for detecting and regulating these things. So it may be something new in the compound, or it may be the fact that people have been using it long enough that we're starting to see these horrible things. Pauline in Canada. Pauline. Well, I'm going to...
There's also some speculation, Dr. Drew, and I don't know if it's true, that somehow he ingested synthetic marijuana.
Spice. That
was very, very strong and might have affected his brain. Now, Ivanka can speak to the fact that when she was with him, that she never saw him do any kind of drugs. She only saw him use marijuana, smoke a marijuana cigarette once at a party. But other than that, no alcohol, no drugs. Isn't that right, Ivanka?
That's correct.
And that must make it makes it even scarier, though, that somebody can be a drug abuser and not even an addict and have these horrible effects from drugs. Ivanka, again, you represent something to a lot of young women out there, which is how do you protect yourself from some guy that you think you know? I mean, what do you doubt men now that you've seen this happen? Do you think twice before you go on a date? Is it affecting you that way?
Most definitely. I will always love Rudy. I will always love what he stood for, but most definitely being careful. That's the lesson learned. Like I said, he was never violent towards me, so I really can't peg him in that light. But you never know.
Let me ask this. I know you're not.
Like I said,
you're not still with him, but do you still have warm, affectionate feelings for him? Do you still sort of love this man in spite of what he did?
Yes, I do. I mean, I'm not trying to justify his actions. My heart goes out to the homeless guy that was the victim in this situation. I'm not, I don't want to make any excuses for Rudy, like what he did was okay, because it wasn't. I just want to you know, basically let the public know who he was to me. We haven't gotten the toxicology report back completely, so I guess I will go off of that. But like I said, I still do have warm feelings too. I only can remember who he was to me, and at the end of the day, that's, you know, that's what matters.
Let's go to quickly Bill in Utah.
So yes, I do still love him.
Okay.